Now, if you've ever had your car stolen or you've had your house has been burgled and you tell the police, then they won't even turn up. They'll just give you some sort of number for your insurance company. They won't investigate it. But if you dare to talk about drag queens, they might be round banging on your door pretty damn quickly because you could be guilty of a hate crime. This is what the founder of Standing for Women, Kellie-Jay Keane, found out. She's going to join us in just a second, but first let's have a little look at a video she made.
I come downstairs and there's two police at the door. He said, we've had a complaint. Somebody's phoned up because in one of your videos, you're being untoward about paedophiles. I said, it's a crime to be untoward about paedophiles? He said, well, the person was offended. I said, well, yes, and I'm offended. I'm offended that you're here trying to silence women, talking about the safeguarding of children. He said, it's been recorded as a hate crime. I said, is it a hate crime or a hate incident? And he said, I'm not here to argue. And I said, have you watched the video? He said, no. And I said, so you're here because somebody was offended about something that you haven't even seen? Yes. Should I go back and watch the video? And I said, well, I would have thought that was something that you should be doing before you come out to somebody's house on a Sunday afternoon. How insane!
Yeah, it does sound a bit insane, doesn't it? Kellie-Jay Keane joins us now. Good afternoon, Kellie-Jay.
Hello, good afternoon.
What was this video that you made that caused such offence?
I think it was a commentary on Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is shall we say, on the fringes, a Republican in America, but she'd criticised some of the sexualised content of drag queens performing to children, and I agreed with her. I think it is a form of grooming. I think it's despicable. And so I think that was the video, but the only group of people mentioned by the police officer were paedophiles. No other group of people were mentioned at all.
That you potentially have been offensive to paedophiles. That's a hate crime.
Being untoward.
Untoward towards people.
I mean, look, I think, to be fair to the police officer, I think he completely misspoke and was rather out of his depth when he arrived. He also asked my 15-year-old her name repeatedly when she's in our property. So there's a number of things I think they did wrong. But, yeah, they didn't talk about special characteristics or what a hate crime was or who the hate crime was against, just that somebody was offended, and it was because I was being untoward about paedophiles.
Did you mention to them that it's not an offence to be offensive?
Well, I can't remember verbatim, apart from that particular thing. I can't remember verbatim what we said, but I said, well, how about then if somebody is a racist and they are offended by an anti-racist video, by somebody talking about racism on the side of the anti-racist? I said, would that be a crime? Is it always, if somebody is offended, that you'll come out? And he said, no, we wouldn't come out for that.
I'll tell you, as I said earlier in this item, here's the other thing they wouldn't come out for. If you've been burgled or your car had been stolen, we wouldn't come round for that. But they're round for, about paedophiles and drag queens like a shot.
Yeah, well, I've had reason to contact the police about some harassment that got quite serious. They weren't interested at all in that. I've had websites where they've put pictures of my kids up, and basically the police came round to tell me that, well, if I will say bad things online, what do I expect? I've been interviewed twice by the police. I've been arrested, all for talking about this safeguarding of children issue, or, you know, when we give children medical interventions that are lifelong. So when I talk about puberty blockers, or if I talk about this horrendous idea about transitioning children. So they will come out for that. But, I mean, they raided a woman's house. They searched a woman's house after they found a sticker ring about male violence in Newport. So at this moment in time, I mean, Wiltshire Police are very low on the scale of rape and convicting rapists. And they're the people that interviewed me a couple of years ago regarding a couple of comments on a YouTube.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? What about a few schools around the country, a few education authorities have seen fit to send in drag queens to give lessons to kids, some very young kids sometimes. I mean, I don't know what my thoughts are about that, but what are your thoughts about it, Kelly?
Well, I think drag is an adult entertainment act. I mean, I think if you want to go and watch drag, it's not something that I would watch. I think it's misogynist, and I think it's a really vile parody of womanhood. But if that's your thing, you're entitled to go and pay and go to an over-18 venue and watch it. Why this is supposed to be some sort of stretching of gender roles for children, or what's acceptable when it's an adult act, I have no idea. I do know that one of the things that happens when you groom children to sexually exploit them, that you do stretch their knowledge of sex, sexuality and sex sort of related language. So I don't know why it would be appropriate. I mean, are we going to teach kids burlesque next? Is that like the next frontier for libraries across the country?
I don't know. What happened to sort of English and history and maths and geography and things like that? When I was at school, primary school especially, I don't think they thought about sending drag queens in to teach us at all.
It's really bizarre, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
schools act as if we've got this overperforming, amazing population who haven't just been through a pandemic, missed out loads of their schooling, locked up, cooped up in their own houses, not able to socialise and go to school. And then one of the priorities is a drag queen going into school. I would have thought a priority now for those teachers is to help those children that missed out on socialising and lessons. I mean, 2 of my children had no teacher contact whatsoever during the lockdown. And so I would have thought there's far more important things for schools to be doing than getting a bloke in far too much makeup and women's clothes pretending to be a woman teaching kids.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you? Kellie-Jay Keen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time. That's founder for Standing for Women, Kellie-Jay Keen.